One-on-One Next Level's Bridge program is built specifically for the actor who's graduated in the last 3 years from a university or conservatory program. It's meant to bridge the gap between training and the industry. So it's perfect for the actor who spent the last few years honing their craft and is now ready to jumpstart their career armed with professional relationships and know-how right from the start. Now, we know the challenges that recent graduates face when they enter the industry. So that's why we've built and curated a handpicked roster of over 30 casting directors, agents, managers, and filmmakers so you can build those relationships that will start and sustain your career.
I only teach here by choice because to me, this is the only place in the city, as far as like a networking studio, where the actors are pre-screened, they have to audition to get in. Every agent that I bring to my classes for showcases are like, it's head and shoulders above anywhere else because nobody can just walk off the street and be like, I want to be an actor. They actually have to have had this audition to get in and be a quality person. They still have come out of either a great program or they just graduated and they take it very seriously, but they're so enthusiastic and excited. It's like, you know, it's a great name for the program because you really are bridging that gap between getting out of whatever program they were in to now what do I do? Do you care about the success of the actor and that my agents come to the showcase and are excited to see them, but I think it's really important to have quality guests like us that want to be here, you know, and aren't just doing it to, you know, collect a paycheck, because that's so far from the reason that I do this.
As a whole, I think the advantage of the Bridge program is that they get to meet industry professionals and they have a basis from where they work on their craft from school, but they get to apply it in a safe classroom environment, whether it be in commercials, television, film, all in theater, all different sorts of casting directors are here as well as agents and managers. So I think it's a real sort of crash course in the industry that they don't necessarily get in their programs at school. I enjoy working with the Bridge students because they're usually really young and ambitious and eager to learn and don't have a lot of experience, so their questions are fresh and they are, you know, they're eager to take direction and find out how they can get involved in any way, shape, or form. I think what students will get from the Bridge program is an education on the business side of what it's like to be an actor, and not necessarily that it's a business course, but you're learning from professionals who are currently working in the industry. So you can pick up a lot of things of the practical use of what all this sort of theory was that you've studied for 4, 6, 8 years in school. During the Bridge program, I have students pick from allotted signs that we posted on the One-on-One website. I guide them toward working on an audition that would be suitable for something to get them a call back.
Thoughts on what you think a student can expect for signing up for the Bridge program?
A taste of the real world. They get an opportunity to do work that doesn't exist in a bubble. And we all know these days that college so often can be a bubble. They're working in a real space. They're working with real people who are doing real work out in the real world and knows what is required of actors to be competitive in that environment. I think actors need something to push up against.
What I like about One-on-One, honestly, is the whole setup. I mean, it's just a perfect way to come in and really get to know somebody. So it gives you a chance to highlight what you do best, and then one-on-one we get to know each other and see if we can even be in the same room together. You get to know a person, an actor as a person. You get to know who, you know, a little bit about them, as opposed to just seeing their work and having them walk out of a room. Everybody comes in prepared. It's a great system. Everybody's on top of their game. They're ready to show off. They come in, they do good work. I'm a big fan.
It starts with the audition process and being able to walk into a room and be yourself. So I think people taking Bridge ultimately want to work on that more than anything else, and One-on-One is great for that because they actually care about actors. I love the enthusiasm Bridge students bring. I truly feel like the people signing up for Bridge are really ready to learn because they're committing to a kind of a big program and setting aside a lot of time out of their lives So yeah, there is a level of energy that you don't always find with actors. There's no jaded or bitterness there. They really do want to figure out what this industry is like and how they can make it work. In every showcase I've had, actors have been signed with agents, which that's a lot of success stories. It's always wonderful to find out they've made that step, and to, I think, hear students say that it wasn't as hard as they thought it was. It's not insurmountable. So yeah, a lot of students are success stories.
I just got out of undergrad and I just moved to New York, and I didn't really have any connections, and my undergraduate experience was mostly about theater. And so when I heard about the Bridge program, I decided, okay, well, I guess I could just jump straight in and see what happens. But I booked my commercial agent through the Bridge program, and we're still together today. And so I pretty much owe my whole career to the Bridge program. So it was a really, really great experience, and I learned a lot, which I think is really cool. I booked with Gina from DDO, who's amazing. 10 out of 10 recommend. And I have done 5 national commercials with Gina since the Bridge program. My biggest that I'm so excited about is that I did a Nike commercial. I actually auditioned for it here at 101 and I booked it with Gina, so it was just like a real full circle moment because I booked it in the room that I took Bridge in. They gave me so much information about how to break into the industry as a newcomer. It was great to get an agent, but the information was really invaluable about voiceover, and it was just like a little bit of everything that I continue to use about how to do really well in an audition or what some mistakes people made in the past so that I don't have to make those mistakes. So I think the people who do sign up for Bridge as the educators and the instructors, they really do care, and I think that is what makes Bridge different than a lot of programs, is that you're with these people for hours and they're really, excited to see what you can do, and also excited to give you tips and tricks so that, your career can last a long time, which I think is really cool. They put a lot of emphasis on the practical side of the business, which I think, also really opened my eyes to, I am me and that person's that person. No one can ever be me. They can't, I can't be that person, but shining with whatever you have. And I think that's also really cool. Find that I've learned there was invaluable, and I still use 3 years later, so.
The best way I would describe it is like a wonderful crash course in the real business of acting. It's a month-long program that you take classes with casting directors and end up meeting agents and managers as well. You take a few classes with them too. And I would say it's like the equivalent of taking 30 plus of these one-on-one classes that you could normally take, but all packaged in one deal with one core class. So you're taking all these classes with the same 20 people, which is terrific because you form such a great community with them. It's just such a great introduction to how the business actually works that you just can't get from school. Through Bridge, I actually got my first commercial agent, which was just terrific. It helped me get my first commercial and so on. And then through that commercial agent, I ended up going over to the legit side, and they became my first legit agent ever. And so through that, I got my first co-starring roles in TV, and then I ended up joining SAG-AFTRA in the last couple months. So yeah, it's been terrific. This basically kickstarted my career. I ended up just booking like crazy through the latter half of 2018 through 2019. I ended up doing so well, literally just from the techniques she taught in her class, that I ended up not having to have a regular day job, and I just ended up booking enough commercial work to just last me through 2019. What you can't get from school is what's really happening right now, currently in the industry. And all the teachers at the Bridge program are all current casting directors who are currently casting TV shows, theater, regional theater, feature films, indie films, and then actual agents and managers. And so you can get a lot of excellent work on your art and your craft as an actor in school, but what the Bridge program does is it marries that art and craft you learn in school with the business side of acting, with what's actually going on out there. You end up getting this wonderful wide, a wide field of view in terms of all these little aspects of what's going on out there. And beyond just that stuff, just being comfortable in front of casting directors and taking them off that pedestal and just realizing they're regular people like us, and realizing that our jobs are working so much more in tandem. It's not like they're up there and you're trying to appease them. They're just trying to find the right person for the role, and you might be that person. Yeah, that was a big thing I pulled away. That, again, you can't get from school because it's not actually doing it. Yeah.
You get to meet up with actual industry professionals that are currently working. It's not people who, retired and are now teaching. They are of the moment actually working in the industry, like casting directors, managers, agents, all those types of people. A lot of teachers in college programs and MFA programs are people who have been removed from the industry for quite some time, and so you don't really get an idea of what the industry is like right now because the industry changes so quickly, and it could be hard for a person who has retired from it to teach you what it's really like right now. It was like summer camp was really helpful, and I wish that it was included in my BFA.
Having that group of people that you're working with consistently allows you to relax into it and actually do work, and so you are able to isolate what's working for you in classroom settings and really hone in on the people you're working with and the scripts that you're getting and seeing what you identify with. You leave with more focus and you kind of understand where you fit in the industry, and so you're able to hone in on that a little bit more and isolate and be more specific with what you're putting yourself out for or being called in for and how you're approaching that. So leaving school and wanting to get into on-camera stuff, I kind of felt like I was starting at square one in terms of meeting those kind of people and doing that type of work. And the Bridge program was just throwing me right into it and giving me a taste of that. And I'm sure that's the same for a bunch of other programs. It was one of the best decisions that I made to do because the people you're meeting, I see them all the time on Actors Access and they're posting. They're the people who are working and doing the things, and you have already worked with them again in a comfortable situation. So you're able to approach it on a more personal and friendly level, which is really nice.
I feel like I felt like I knew a lot about acting, but I really wanted to move the needle forward in the industry, and I didn't really know how. So I would recommend it because it shows you a whole other side that you might not even be aware of. There's certainly something to be said about the community that you build in the Bridge program because you're juggling scripts left and right, and because there's something about being an actor where you're sort of on the job alone. You know, you're like going to auditions on your own. The Bridge program gives you an opportunity to see yourself in other people. I got called in to audition for As You Like It at the Guthrie, which is really cool. What I learned in the Bridge program about casting and casting directors and the industry that helped me understand what they're going through on their side and communicate what I needed to communicate without making their lives harder. There's a lot of things that surround acting that you don't learn about in school. Like, what does a casting director go through in their daily, which might not sound like something that you would put, like in a course description, like I'm gonna learn this in college, but is incredibly valuable to know. Just because to understand what other people in your field are going through is, like, if you're gonna work together, you have to know sort of what it is that their work is like and what your job is like and how you guys can work together. And you're able to say, hey, we met 2 years ago, love your podcast or whatever it is. You make connections that are very, very valuable.
I'm from Texas and I was pursuing acting in Austin, but I didn't really know what the industry was like here. I needed sort of a foot in the door, I needed like an intro, so it was kind of perfect. I kind of expected it to be intimidating, but all of the casting directors and teachers were so nice and nurturing, so it's a really good experience. I was in Texas and I didn't have teachers that are familiar with the industry right now, because market and industry is always changing. So it was really helpful to have industry people being like, this is what's going on right now, this is what you need to know.